Hello, it's Charlene from Unwrapped, and today I want to talk to you about food waste. Did you know that 12.8 billion dirhams worth of food is sent to UAE landfills every year? That's a lot of waste. So where does it come from? It's really simple. Food is wasted when we waste it. And I'm sure that you can relate. How many times have you been to the supermarket and done your weekly shop, only to realize at the end of the week that you have some perishables that you just couldn't use and you have to throw them out? And approximately 1/3 of all food produced across the globe is actually wasted. And it's not just the food that you waste. There's also a lot that happens behind the scenes before that food reaches the supermarket. Let's take a tomato farmer, for example. He spends a lot of time and money and, he invests a lot into his farm, into the land, into the water, into the staff to grow these crops. And at the end of 2-3 months, when his crops are fully grown, he also realizes that maybe only 50% of his crop is going to make it into the supermarket. And why? They might be too big. They might be too small. They might have a strange shape. And we have been trained to buy insanely good-looking fruits and vegetables. Otherwise, we just won't buy them. We always pick, the best looking ones. And at least at the farm, the food that's wasted, the tomatoes that don't get sold, will more than likely go back into the soil, and be turned into compost or whatever the case might be. But for us, majority of the time, that food waste goes into the bin, which ends up in a landfill. And we kind of say, oh, it's okay. It's organic matter. It's not plastic. How bad can it be? It's natural. But the bigger problem is that our landfills are getting full, and they're getting full with paper, metals, everything. You can imagine this landfill just jam-packed with everything, including all of our food waste. And the food waste can't break down as easily as it can when it's exposed to the natural elements like sunlight and oxygen. When it's in a landfill, it has that top-heavy layer that blocks out oxygen and doesn't let any light in, and also avoids pests from coming in. So it's very difficult for our food to break down in a landfill. It takes a lot longer. And what happens is that it releases very strong greenhouse gases, which affect climate change, which, as we all know, is a big problem. So what can we do to try to avoid food waste? And I'm going to share with you a few tips that I apply in my daily lifestyle. My first one would be, before I go shopping, is to do an inventory. Just open your cupboards, open your fridge, and have a quick look to see what you have. Maybe you already have 3 tins of coconut milk and you don't need to get another one. Also, try to make a meal plan. Maybe you get some inspiration when you do your inventory to realize that you actually still have a lot in the cupboard. Or at least just, I'm not talking about planned breakfast, lunch, snack, lunch, all those kind of meals and the meals in between. But if you have an idea of maybe just 5 meals that you're going to plan for the week, at least when you get to the supermarket, if you didn't have time to write a list, you know what to pick up along the way. Another tip would be to buy less, because we buy way too much. We buy it because it's convenient. We buy it because we're in a hurry, often armed with our kids and our stroller and on a call, and we just buy too much. Also, don't be afraid to buy the odd-shaped vegetables if you see them. You probably won't see them in the supermarket though. And another thing would just be to check expiration dates. Make sure you can actually consume something before it expires. And my top tip is to get out to the local farmers markets. We have quite a few farms in the UAE where you can go, maybe not now during COVID, but when COVID passes. And the kids can actually go and pick their own vegetables. And you know what? They do find odd-shaped vegetables, but they actually get really excited, and they develop a very good relationship with these foods. When they pull out a funny-shaped carrot out the ground, they have a laugh, and they want to peel it, and they want to taste it, and they almost want to eat it on the spot. And this is really healthy. And another thing you can teach them is, only pick what you're going to eat. Don't go and pick 5 kgs of eggplants if you don't like eggplants, or else mom's going to cook you all those eggplants during the week. So I really hope that this was useful. This is how I apply, these habits in my daily shopping, my weekly shopping. I highly recommend farmers markets. The kids have such a great experience. They get outdoors in the fresh air, they get their hands dirty, and they just love it. So I hope you found this useful. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can send me a message on Instagram or on Facebook. You can also find me at www.unwrapped.uae on my website, but it's currently under maintenance, so it should be up and running real soon. And if you're interested, we've recently launched a podcast on sustainable parenting. So feel free to subscribe on your favorite podcast. You just need to search for Green Busters Podcast or check out our website at www.greenbusters.org. Bye.